Hey guys, it's Kate here with Wix, your source for weather across southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, and northeastern Oklahoma. We've got a lot to talk about, from a little bit of a severe weather threat to changing temperatures to some winter weather thrown in with that and some very cold wind chills. So I guess we'll get right into it here. So the first things first I want to talk about is this severe weather threat that we do have. So currently right now we do have some storms kind of across Oklahoma, that are kind of just working their way up towards the area. I'm not really expecting a ton of severe weather, but it is, there might be one or two severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot of it just has to do with the front that's moving in. It's going to rile up some energy in the atmosphere, which could create a couple severe thunderstorm warnings or two. But we'll keep an eye on that as we go throughout the evening. That's not necessarily the main focus of this video, as much as I personally like severe weather over winter weather from a research and operational standpoint. Um, Not really going to be the biggest factor over the next couple of days. Well, what is going to be the biggest factor over the next couple of days is going to be our wind chills. Um, this is a plot of data from the National Weather Service in their National Digital Forecast Database. I just took it and mapped it to our area, and it gives you a fairly decent picture of exactly what is happening. And I just think it's better than just showing you guys a model that doesn't look the same. So this is starting at 9 o'clock. We're really from the 60 to 50 degree range, kind of across the area. Um, or excuse me, 55 to 6 or 55 to 50, kind of across the area. This is still kind of a development thing, so you'll have to bear with me here as we kind of go through it. So, um, as we look here at 12 a.m., you can probably notice like we kind of have this kind of cold front kind of working in. So, a lot of the area is going to be like 55, or like, here's like 50 and then 55 and then 60 over here. But then as you start working your way more westward, you're going to run into, here's your 45, there's your 40, there's your 35, and then there's your freezing line at 32, and then there's 30. So, a lot or quite a bit of just changing in temperatures kind of across the area. So as we continue to around 3 o'clock, you can tell this line a lot more now. I don't know if I can actually write. I don't think I can. I wish. Ooh, maybe. Strike through, polygon, rectangle. I don't think it necessarily will. We'll try this. What does this do? Yeah. So around this time, we were looking at this cold front's kind of rare that black line is there. Um, kind of just stretching kind of through the area. So then as we continue to 6 a.m., you know, I mentioned this in that quick video that I did before, a lot of the area was going to be around freezing around 6 to 7 a.m. And that's really what we're seeing here is this thick black line that kind of runs all the way from the top down to the bottom. That is the 32-degree line. That is the freezing line. I made that extra bold so it'd be easier to be able to see it. But we're already ports of yeah parts of southeast Kansas are around 20 degrees already, and it's 6 a.m. You know, right now in Joplin would be around 25, Neosho about the same, probably a little bit closer to 30. You know, Monet's going to be really borderline to 30 to 35. Northwest Arkansas is going to be kind of split between the 30 degree and 35 area, or excuse me, above freezing and below freezing. To the left side here, we have, below freezing temps, and then on the right, we have above freezing temps. And so, if we continue on to, you know, 9 a.m., that freezing line's basically already going to be east of US 65. So it's really going to be already out of my area that I cover because I don't really go much farther that way. Um, and at that point, I mean, what we're going to be looking at is going to be what we call a flash freeze, basically, is the temperatures get so cold so quickly that just it freezes almost instantly. Like it gets that cold. And then you're combining with all the wind that will also make it cold. And we'll look at the apparent temperatures here in a moment, which is also wind chill. Um, so we're going to be seeing, very cold temperatures setting in. If you, I mean, we're looking at, almost a 20-degree drop for some people between 6 to 9 a.m. And that's not even factoring in, at 3 a.m. it was 50 degrees in Cassville. At 9 a.m., now you're looking at it around 20. So, I mean, there's just a lot of, you know, that's the main concern with the system is not necessarily how much um, snowfall we're going to get, or exactly, are we where the temperature is going to be at. It's really that flash freeze risk, because you're looking right at the commute time whenever all this is happening, and we're expecting there to be snowfall during this time as well. And so you're going to be starting to run into some issues there where it gets kind of cold and slick, because everything's just freezing so fast, especially if you have, these winds are going to be kind of blowing in from the west. They're going to be pushing that cold air into the area. So, they're going to be cold as well. So, as they're going to be blowing over the road, get this in the camera here. They're going to be taking the warm air, the warm parts of the road, and just blowing it off, so it's cooling off rather quickly. Especially bridges and overpasses. I cannot stress that enough. If you are driving to work in the morning commute, please, please, please be cautious of bridges, because with how cold this is getting, they can freeze very, very quickly. So then, as we continue throughout the day, you know, mid 20s, like I mentioned earlier in a little bit of the shorter video, for a majority of the day. We're already to Saturday at this point. Still cold. It's going to be cold for a very, very long period of time. We're not looking at just, you know, 12 to 18 hours of cold. We're talking, 3 or 4 days possibly. So, just be cautious of the roads. At Once we get to so low of a temperature, treatment of the roads really is hard to do. Um, you can hit it all you want with the snowplow. You can spread as much salt as you want on it. You can put as much beet juice on it, but there's an effectiveness temperature of all those solutions. And once we drop below that, there's really not a whole lot that the Department of Transportation can do. So you'll likely see, lines along the road. That is going to be trucks out pre-treating the roads, trying to get them not to freeze in the first place. So we're gonna look at the apparent temperatures now. So this was at 9 o'clock. These apparent temperatures are gonna be above whenever it's a little bit warmer, and then as it cools off, it'll definitely get below it. So this is at 9 p.m., which is here in like 20-ish minutes or 40-ish minutes, excuse me. And then as we kind of go, here's midnight. You can definitely tell you're starting to get some more colder air kind of flowing into northwest Arkansas, to where we're starting to get some winds being picked up. And a lot of this is actually occurring with cold pulls within these storms as well. As they move across the area, the inside of the storms are going to be cold. So that's going to be, bringing more colder air to the area, so that then it happens. So at 3 a.m., wind chill line is already going to be in Miami, excuse me. We're going to be getting really close to free Joplin whenever it comes to that. And as we continue through the area, 6 a.m., it's going to be below freezing wind chills already. And then as we kind of go throughout the day, we're already down. This area right through here is 5-degree wind chills. This is 0 degree. It doesn't really say that very much, but that is 0 degree. The label is right behind the A and the S on Cassville there, but that is 0 degree wind chill. And I mean, you can see we kind of warm up later, but we're still talking single digit wind chills. And then, we're finally into Saturday. This is 9 a.m. Saturday. You can see this -5, -10 poking its head up here. Fortunately, we're not necessarily in that at the moment. But we get to tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, you can probably expect to see negative, or not tomorrow night. Saturday night, you can expect to see negative wind chills across the area. Um, you know, right now this is 9 p.m. and you're talking -5 to -15 degree wind chills across the area. So just be cautious of, if you're going to be outside, make sure you cover up as much skin as you can. Limit your time outside. Frostbite can occur very, very quickly in conditions like this. And then as we go right to midnight, we're still noticing those temperatures kind of keep coming in from the north here. And, we even have -20 kind of peeking in up here in farther southeast Kansas. We pushed that. We're now at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. You know, Now we're up to, -15. We're going to warm up a little bit, but you're still going to be looking at negative wind chills. If you go to church Sunday, it's going to be really, really, really cold. Um, Personal advisement from me, you might look at alternative services. That's just my opinion. There's really no risk in getting people out whenever it's this cold if they don't have to. And then so as we go on, our data starts becoming a little bit less um, efficient anyway, talking about this storm stuff. But we do have, we're going to go take a look at some winter weather real quick. So let this load. This is the winter weather severity or winter storm severity index. It factors in multiple, how to word this, multiple components into what the risk is. So it's kind of in waves. I'm not exactly sure why. I've been trying to figure it out today and I haven't been able to. But with it being in waves, I would just kind of go with the fact of, it's going to be more of looking towards these moderate impacts, which is what this orange area is here. So as we kind of go down here, this is going to be snowfall totals here. So for Southwest Missouri, really going to be looking at, like 1 to 2 inches, very isolated 1 to 2 inches. Majority of everyone will probably be below 1 inch of snowfall, just from kind of what I've seen, kind of basing off of this, which this is now 7 hours old, so it's likely to change. But I was gonna rerun it, but I'm getting Monday snowfall added into it, and it's just not working out right. So I decided not to worry about it. But yeah, so I mean, if along I-49, that's gonna be a questionable area tomorrow morning, especially if the snow kind of occurs as they're kind of expecting it to. Um, I'm not sure what is happening here. I think I still have something broke on my website. So, if we kind of run in here and zoom in, so this is the high end amount. So we're still very uncertain of exact amounts with the system, and you can kind of figure this by where the high and the low ends meet. Um, for this chance, there's a 10% chance that we could see 4 to 5 inches across the area. I'm saying there's a 90% chance it will be less than that. This is only a 10% scenario. One out of every 10 storms would do this. Um, Low end amount, zero. Once again, there's a 90% chance of higher snowfall. And then, once again, this is a 1 in a 10 storm chance here. So take that information as you will. Not going to necessarily focus on Tulsa's graphics because they factor in Monday. Right now, all roads do look clear across the area. I expect that to change overnight, especially as we start getting more rainfall and it switches over to winter weather. MoDOT will likely take it very heavily and hit the roads quite hard in the morning. I would hope anyway, uh, and we'll just kind of go from there. So, one thing I did want to mention is we do have winter weather advisories out for the area. Uh, and so you can, whoa, we zoomed way too far in. I need to build my own one of these. So come on, wake up. There it goes. Maybe. Anyway, we're gonna let that load real quick. We'll just use this one. So winter weather advisory is going to be in place for Southwest Missouri. It's going to run from 6, I believe. Let me check this. I don't want to be wrong. Okay, I would have been wrong if I would have said that. That's why you always double check things. Um, so winter weather advisory across Southwest Missouri runs from 4 a.m. to noon on Friday. That's going to be kind of the period that we're going to be expecting, the snowfall. For those of you that are in Northwest Arkansas or Northeastern Oklahoma, NWS Tulsa's kind of different up that line. It will be from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. for those of you that are in Northwest Arkansas or Northeastern Oklahoma. So a couple graphics I would like to talk about here. Once again, flash freeze. Um, and I've mentioned this earlier in the video. A flash freeze is going to be occur when we're going to see really wet roads and they're going to freeze really quickly due to rapidly falling temperatures. Like this is what this highlighted area here is. So, like I mentioned, 6 to 9 a.m., that morning commute time, we're going to be really watching this because Joplin, Mount Vernon, and Anderson are in this medium snowfall chance in this flash freeze risk. So, I mean, you're talking about chance on chance already. Once again, be very, very, very cautious in the morning if you're driving. If you don't have to go out, don't be out. If people come ask me my opinion, if you're going to be, in Southwest Missouri trying to travel during this time, I would try to advise against it, especially if the snow does hit hard. Because if the roads are going to be below really close to freezing due to how cold it's going to get, that snowfall is going to stick and it's not going to be very pretty. So, once again, winter weather advisory. You can notice here 1 to 2 inches kind of across the area. For those that are in like Joplin, Anderson, Neosho, Goodman, even up towards Pierce City, the majority of everyone else will likely see less than an inch of rain or of snowfall. We do have more winds kind of across the area. There is a wind advisory in effect. We're going to be looking at 20 to 30 mile sustained in areas, and then 40 to 45 gust. That's going to be more of up towards Springfield and over towards Mark Twain. For those that are like towards Anderson, northeastern Oklahoma, it'll be a little less. Bitter cold wise, we're not looking at anything terrible Friday and Friday night. It's gonna be cold, don't get me wrong. Make sure to cover up. Saturday night it's gonna be really cold, and Sunday and Monday night and Tuesday are gonna be really rough. Make sure to, if you don't have to go outside, don't go outside. If you have to go outside, make sure you have, everything covered, including your face, your fingers. So, and then that's for another day. Uh, but yeah, now it's loaded. But yeah, so this area here is under a winter weather advisory from 4 a.m. to noon. And then those that are in Northwest Arkansas and Northeast Oklahoma, we're going to be looking at that winter weather advisory from 4 to, or excuse me, from 2 to 10 a.m. So, but I believe that's all I have. This video is almost 20 minutes long now, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that a lot of you won't watch it all the way through. And if you got to this point, thank you very much. It really does mean a lot. I do look at these analytics all the time and try to figure out how to make them better. So I appreciate it big time, guys. Once again, make sure to take some caution with you tomorrow if you do have to go out and drive. But other than that, that's going to be all from me, guys. Expect more updates throughout the day or throughout the night into the early morning hours. And stay safe, stay warm, stay bundled up, and we will see y'all next time. Have a good one and stay safe.